So Max Scherzer was traded to the Mets. Bigger name. You probably recognize it. Luis Angel Acuna, as in Ronald Acuna Jr. They are brothers. So let me see if they have a page for Mr. Acuna. Not in the article, but I can pull it up real quick. Luis Angel Acuna. And take a look at his minor league numbers. So Acuna, in this season in the minor leagues, has raked. He has played very, very good. Batting .315 with an .830 OPS, 7 home runs, 51 RBIs. Playing in Double-A. So he's raking in Double-A, and obviously that's not the end of it all. And we'll see how he plays with the Mets Double-A team. This is obviously playing with the Rangers Double-A team. So we'll see how that works. He's 21 years old. He's a shortstop, and
21 years old. That's
21 years old.
a lot of upside.
Well, the thing about being 21 years old and being in Double-A, this guy could be up at 22, 23. And at the shortstop position, obviously they have Francisco Lindor. But I don't know how much longer they'll have Lindor. And even if they don't, guys change positions all the time. He could turn into a second baseman, or Lindor could turn into a second baseman. Things change, and you can adjust for it. Ultimately, the point is, you don't trade or make decisions on guys based on their position. You base it on, can you hit? Like I said, it does. I don't care if you play the outfield. I don't care if you play first base. I don't care if you play catcher. Can you hit the baseball more often than you don't hit the baseball?
Correct.
And looks like Luis
he can.
Angel Acuna, he might be him, and we know his brother, and people are gonna compare him to his brother all the time. He's probably not gonna be as good as his brother, but if he is even half as good as his brother,
he's gonna be pretty damn good.
I think the Mets are gonna come away with this looking pretty good. And Pirates just hit a 2-run home run. It is now 3-0. So
fantastic.
Not a great
good job, Pittsburgh.
Not a great start for Matt Manning. We don't win on Tuesdays, by the way. This is an established fact. I want people, if you don't believe me, go and look up the Tigers' record on Tuesdays. We do not win on Tuesdays. It doesn't.
It's a curse.
I think we won like 2 games on Tuesdays. It's unbelievable.
Yep.
But the other trade that they made, which was kind of funny, was Justin Verlander, who was traded to the Astros. Now, I don't know. Has he played for the Astros before? He's played for a few teams. I don't know if has he played for the Astros before?
I
think.
Did he?
I think he might have. They get a couple of prospects. One by the name of Drew Gilbert, and another by the name of Ryan Clifford. Let me pull up Drew Gilbert. If I can just Drew Gilbert. So Drew Gilbert is in Double-A. He's 22 years old, and he's also played very well. He's an outfielder, 274 average, and 821 OPS, 12 home runs on the season.
Very nice.
Again, pretty solid player. Double-A, 22 years old, could be up at 24.
Absolutely.
So that's a great piece. And also Ryan Clifford. Take a look. Ryan Clifford.
I think the whole moral of this trade deadline for the Mets is they're just going young.
Yeah.
They're going building for the future, and I like it.
The other thing to me is, what are the Mets trading? What are the Mets not trading for when they trade away Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander?
Pitchers.
That's right, Seth. Do you want to know why?
Because they're not the San Diego Padres.
I will say this to the moon. And some fans, they get on me for this. Pitching in the modern game is not nearly as important as it was years ago. You need bats. I don't care if you look at the Angels a couple of years ago. I think they drafted only pitching. How's the Angels pitching? Not good. Because for one, it takes longer to develop pitchers. So unless you got a really, 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 really good pitcher, you're basically wasting a lot of time. And again, you have, even if he is a really, 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 really good pitcher, he plays 1 out of every 5 games at most. If he's a reliever, even more useless, right? You're even more indispensable because he's pitching not only 1 out of every 3 or 4 games. He's pitching like an inning. Of 1 every 3, 4 games. Like, if you get a bat and you gotta think, So every team has professional baseball players. Every team has a batter. At least
Oh.
every team has at least one batter that is somewhat fearful. And you can go to the A's, you can go to the Tigers, you can go to the Padres, you go to some of the worst offenses ever. Every single team has at least one batter that is scary, right?
Correct.
Or at least that is like permissible. Like you're not just gonna be like
that teams consider walking.
Right. Yeah. And what adding more bats does is it takes whatever that batter is. Like, say you have, I don't know, the Tigers' best hitter is Riley Green. Okay, Riley Green is like a 300 hitter. He probably, for any team, he'd be like a top of the order guy. And if you add more bats similar to Riley Green, well, all that does is move the worst bats down to the point where there's no worse bats, where there's no like bats that you're like totally unafraid of. So it's like, instead of having to have, I don't know, Javi Baez batting fifth, you have, I don't know, who's like a middle of the road bat, like I don't know.
Throw a name out there.
I'm just trying to think of just a random. I mean, Matt Vierling on the Tigers. I'll go with the Tigers because it's what team I know best. Matt Vierling is a fine player. He's not great. He doesn't have like a lot of power, but he's a fine player. He can get some base hits. He can slap some hits in. He can steal base.
Sure.
Like, if you get a Riley Green-esque bat on top of Riley Green, all that does is mean that Matt Vierling goes from batting 3 or 4 to now 5th. And you just keep doing that.
You just keep moving
to where
down the pole.
Eventually, even your number 9 hitter is like, maybe he's not great, but he's better than the worst team's number 9 hitter. Like, look at every really bad team, okay? Like, there's no good team with a bottom 10 offense. It doesn't exist because it's impossible. You win by scoring runs.
That's also, how the game of baseball works.
Now, you technically, I suppose some people say, oh, you also win by stopping the other team scoring runs. Yeah, but it doesn't. Even if you stop the other team from scoring runs, you still need to score runs.
That's like, how you need to get
you
points
are
on the
more
board.
control. You are in more control of you scoring runs than you are of the other guy scoring runs. Because the other guy is facing one of your guys, right? And then I guess the outfield, right? But I mean, usually it's routine plays. If you can't catch a fly ball, I mean, I can't help.
Why are you playing baseball?
But when you are batting, you are in total control of, like, if you just go out and you score like 4 runs in an inning. Yep. The other team is already on the. You could have the best pitching in the world. It doesn't matter. One bad inning, game is pretty much over. It's over. Games can end in an inning because one mistake on a pitcher. You could have Mariano Rivera as your closer, 2 outs, bottom of the 9th. You're down 1 base hit. You're dead. You're dead. It does and I get it because people
now he's dead.
Exactly. Thank you, Steve. And like, I get it. Everybody wants Justin Verlander. Everybody wants Randy Johnson. But you need to, if you're going to take a guy like that, you need to hit. If you're going to take Justin Verlander like we did years and years ago, you need to hit. You need to hit on that pick. And then you can't just keep Justin Verlander around and then be like, well, I don't know, our offense isn't all that good. Because then it's like, well, what difference does it make if Justin Verlander's on the mound?
That's not how that. Yeah, the offense is going to be affected.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to lose every game 2-0. Yeah. Because in the same way that I'm not going to be mad at an offense if they score 4 runs and lose, I'm not going to be mad at a pitcher if he gives up 2 runs and loses. Like I can't do it. I can't do it. Because if you went out, you understood the assignment, you got runs, and you still lost, then yeah, you screwed you. But it's like, look, I could go on forever, but look, the Mets, they understand. You go and you give bats. None of this trading for a pitcher who's not going to be here for 3 years or 5 years or whatever. None of this taking pitchers super high in the draft. I know Paul Skeens just got taken. We don't know what this guy is going to be. If it was me, I know everybody's saying, I'm sorry. I'm taking the bat. Paul Skeens could be the most amazing pitcher ever. But I'm taking the bat. Like, I have a philosophical difference in how I value a player. And maybe you'll have some people who are like, oh, well, you can't just one hitter on the team. It's like, well, you draft like 1 million of them. Like, I'm not saying you draft one guy first overall and then just, I don't know, I'm just going to throw draft picks out the window. Yeah. Like, you get like 1 billion bats. You do what the Mets do. You sell off any of your pitching and you don't trade your pitching for pitching because that's just a recipe for failure. And it's like, the Mets will probably come away winning this trade unless the
No, I think they
Astros
will.
win a World Series.
Which
If the Astros win a World Series and the Mets don't win anything, even if these guys are good, it's going to be hard to argue that they won that trade.
But yeah, I think
but
for sure
from a player value,
Mets win.
All of these guys, these are all going to be really solid players. And even even if they suck, let's be realistic, okay? Not all these players are going to hit.
No.
Probably most of them won't. Probably most of them will suck, or they will be average. But you just keep it's the same. You just get a bunch of them. It's like in any of these sports of prospects. In hockey, it's the same thing. You don't just put all your eggs in one basket. You don't just say, "Oh, I drafted, Connor Bedard first overall," and then I don't know what else to do. It's you just keep drafting these goal scorers. In baseball, you keep drafting these hitters. You keep trading for these hitters until eventually you get one who sticks and he's super freaking good, and then you have a bunch of guys that are really solid, and all of a sudden you got an offense that is pretty dang good.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, look, I would love to make fun of the Mets just because
it's the Mets.
It's the Mets, and they spent all this money. They went and they sold their pitchers. Look, the Mets, I can't laugh. I mean, they understood the assignment. A couple of years, they're probably gonna be pretty good, unless unless they got totally gypped.
Screwed.
Unless the Rangers and the Astros totally just got one in under them, right?
Yeah, maybe. And maybe that's the case.
And maybe that's the case. But as it stands, it's I can't be mad at the move. I can't because I understand the strategy. I get it. We're gonna go after bats and we're gonna out hit you. Essentially, that seems to be the move. Oh, and Riley Green just hit a double. That's good to see.
There you go. Speaking of hitting.
Yeah, right. I was just talking about Riley Green. It's the 14th double of the season for Riley. That's great. Hey there, what you just watched was actually a clip from a larger show that we do every Tuesday night. What are you doing Tuesday night? Go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the like button so that you don't miss out on any more of our weekly shows every single Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope to see you there.